Hi guys, so just before the video starts, these levels will be ranked based off of deco and song, not by gameplay, because I'm low-key kind of ass at the game and would not be a reliable opinion on a level or bit difficulty, enjoyment-wise. This is going to include all levels that MindCap has hosted or co-hosted, and before you say, oh, all the easiest on this list, you're stupid and wrong, this is all terrible! MindCap actually had nothing to do with the level other than showcasing it, because he thought it was cool. Other thing, I have memberships now, so join the channel if you want, it'd be greatly appreciated. Just saying. I'm going to experiment a little with the format of the video since there's only 16 levels. With the usual way I do things, this video would only be 3 minutes long, kind of just not very good. So I'm going to try and go a bit more in depth than what I'd usually do with these videos, so I'd appreciate if you all told me what you think about the different structure and format of the video. If you all prefer this, I can maybe keep doing it like this, just saying. With all that said, on to the rankings. Okay, so first thing, MindCap might be a little good at this entire creating levels thing, so I can't be mean to the bad levels, no! I feel like a 4 out of 10 being his lowest just goes to show how much this man does not miss with his levels. The first part feels messy due to its weird background that's reminiscent of 2.0, and the second part, which won a CC, is surprisingly nice. However, even with the colour changes, it still feels a little monochrome as it's all one colour at any given moment. The build up to the drop lacks the build up of intensity that the song has, and it could have done with some more pulses and movements for the sake of some more energy. And the drop's generally fine, but it lacks some pulses and energy as well. Jakob Nugget's part as a closer works fine, but as a part and the level, it's just nothing special. I'm gonna be real, this level just kinda doesn't really do it for me. I really don't like how the mirror portals are used in some parts, and generally I'm not a mirror portal hater, and I'm not crazy about any of the deco. I feel like most of the parts are just okay. The part at 65's ground pulses are incredibly ugly. The part could have just worked with some foreground glow pulses instead, in all honesty. I don't know why they did those ground pulses, it just looks stupid. I know I'm sounding very critical for saying that this is a 5 out of 10, but really other than that, the level doesn't have that many issues, it's okay. Let's start this off with a positive. The first 3 parts are incredibly clean. The first part's pulses could have been a bit stronger as the piano chords are the only thing really playing in the song. When they are gone, there's essentially no music, and the pulses could represent that a bit better than just being a slight brightness increase. This part's really nice design-wise. It gives similar vibes to the blue, but significantly better. I hate the blue! The part after that is incredibly lacking in detail in their deco, and after that the level doesn't really get that much better. The gimmick of having no drop is funny for the first half of the level, but the blue pad section being 10 seconds long for there to be no drop after just feels like a middle finger to the player, and not in a good way. All in all, it just becomes unfunny and a bit annoying, especially after having to watch it a couple times while scripting and recording this video. The joke just becomes really annoying. The first couple parts are fine, however, the drop really lacks intensity. Maybe if it was brighter, it would be able to have some stronger pulses which would help solve that, as well as that some shakes could help. That's a general problem with this level, it's too dark to have some strong pulses, which with such an energetic song just doesn't work well. The beginning of the post-drop feels out of place, as having random art of a chandelier that's barely on screen be the centre of a small section feels really weird, especially as there's very little pulses there. The rest of the post-drop's fine, other than Hell Pegasus part, which is an absolute train wreck. There's literally no saving that. Majako's part is really good, and after that point the quality picks up. That one clubstep monster has aura. Lemon's part is great. It fits the energy really well, only to go into Metal Face's part, which has 0 pulses and energy at all. The build up towards the drop is really inconsistent because of it. MindCap's part is just straight up ugly, and Penato's part is fine, but I'm a bit iffy on the white glow usage. Lithofusion's part of the drop is amazing. Matches the energy of the song perfectly. I don't have any major complaints about that part. Lithofusion is incapable of not cooking. For the rest of the drop, it feels like it's trying so hard to match the energy of Lithofusion's part, but it just fails. The post-drop's really ugly as well. Joxy's part? Is that how you say it? I don't know. Well, his part has some very ugly colours, and most of it's pure black, and then the part after feels like it should just be brighter. Some of the parts work fine individually, but put together as a level, it just doesn't work the best. This level just kind of gives the wrong vibe. The beginning of the song isn't great, and the deco in the first part feels empty and a bit lifeless. The second cake part's fine though, and after that the rest of the level is funny, and references to Ye, the Gangster SpongeBob meme, and Snoop Dogg transition are all nice details. But at the ending parts, the lyrics on screen and very bright flashy effects kind of ruins the rest of the level for me. I'm not the kind of guy to complain about levels trying to explore more mature themes, but in this kind of aggressive flashy nature, it just kind of feels a bit unnecessary. It manages to do a lot with very little to work with. This is a great demonstration of interesting structuring and experimental gameplay. The background effect is great too, it gives the level so much more personality. Unfortunately, the level being 7 minutes long doesn't really do it much of a favour. As much as all of the parts are different structurally, it still gets a bit boring by the 5-minute mark. In the end, it's still a 1.0 level, so there's only so many things you can do. Easily an improvement from Gamma. Lem's part is great, however from there to Jenkins' part, I'm a bit iffy on the deco. The foreground spike wall thingy is weird, and there's a lack of pulses in this part. Jenkins' part is pretty much just an upgraded take on Delta interface, and it still looks really good to this day. An unfortunate issue I have with this level is its pacing is through its 2.5-minute runtime. It doesn't really change or progress thematically or stylistically much at all, and I just kind of wish there was some more development in the theming or style, especially in the last drop as this level does get quite boring to watch. I'm not huge about the pre-drop or the first drop, mostly as that bit of song just annoys me. The part right before the main drop's really ugly, the ground spikes are boring and empty and they take up half the screen. The block designs aren't interesting and there's nothing in the background to make any contrast. Right after that, the drop's incredible. Getting Ziriak to make their part was possibly the best decision MindCap could have made. For those who don't know, Ziriak created Terminal Rampsy and is incredible with making high energy levels, and this part's no different. How Pegasus keeps up the high standard while MindCap's part is fine too. The ending parts look incredibly clean as well. An upgrade from Sigma and the most polished of the Greek alphabet series. Temp's part at the beginning is great and the start of the drop is amazing too, but after that the next part doesn't manage to capture that same energy. All the block deco through the entire level is consistently good, apart from the part at the beginning of the final drop, which I just find ugly. After that it goes back to being fine, and the part with Northern Lights type deco is probably my favourite part from any of the Greek Letter series levels, maybe other than Lithofusion's part in Gamma. This level also slightly suffers from pacing issues, but as its intensity is better, there's more variance between parts, it still manages to be an interesting watch. An all-around amazing level, but it suffers from a couple issues in the beginning and ending parts. Some parts feel incredibly empty in the design parts at the start, and at the end of the level I have more of an issue with the pacing. I get it's meant to be ambient, but the same hallway part for 1.5 minutes does get a little excessive, like it's a bit boring. All the jump scares are masterfully made, and I have essentially zero critiques for the rest of the art parts, other than the pacing. Using a Steam piano song for the design parts was such a good idea, as it gives a slightly unnerving vibe even without the need for jump scares. This level's really impressive. For this much effort to go into what is essentially an April Fool's level is crazy to me. I love all the art, however I do wish that the style was more consistent, as some parts just don't fit with each other that well. The ending's very funny, especially for all that cinematic build-up earlier in the level. Can we just take a minute to appreciate how good the rocket looks, by the way? It's super iconic. I remember when this was released, people were saying, this is gonna save the demon list, but now looking back at it, it's not that good. Like, yeah, it's great, all the deco is top tier, the ending is incredible, but I feel almost as if I've seen this level too much and like it less for that. I don't know, it's personal preference. It's still an amazing level nonetheless. MindCap co-hosted this, so it's a Penato level actually, but hey, whatever. This is such an interesting concept, even if some parts may be weaker than others. Just watching this level switch up every few seconds and seeing what other creators can do in the editor is just so cool to me. I'm not going to judge every part individually as that would take hours, but as a level it works weirdly well, and I really like it. I feel as if I have to give this a 10 out of 10. There are literally zero flaws, even if I feel the level is a little overrated. Redeemer should have been the first Mythic Grade Classic Extreme, fight me. As for Orbit itself, everything that could have been said about this level probably already has been. It's super technically impressive, it's super polished, everything looks good. The ball pit is great, but I remember the layout end screen kind of being just a packet of gum. It was funny, it would have been cool to see some kind of reference to it in the decorated version. This level's genuinely amazing. I love how the level progresses so much thematically. From going to a wasteland to a bustling city is just so cool to watch. People really need to take notes from this level. It's pretty much perfect. Pretty much. My only gripe is that the robot at like 45% is a little lacking in pulses and energy compared to the rest of the level, but it's fine. I get that this ain't as technically impressive or effect heavy as Orbit, but this level does something simpler incredibly well, and I personally think that this is better. I can see why you would have Limbo, Orbit, Collab level, or FFA2 at number 1. Those are all definitely justifiable. And that is every MindCap level ranked. Sorry for the long wait on this video. bunch of personal stuff happened, and it's been pretty chaotic on my end, so hey, at least I got it done. Yay! Yippee! Anyways, I shall be leaving you all on a question. Whose level should I rank next?